2019 Mountain Dew GSL Season 2 Codes Renaissance.
Welcome back. We just wrapped up the first best of 3. Our second best of 3 is going to be INnoVation versus Patience. I think this best of 3 is going to be a lot closer to Artosis.
Oh, yes. I don't know which way this one's going to go. It's really hard to say.
Yeah, Patience could definitely trip up INnoVation. I think INnoVation has some of the best fundamentals we've ever seen in RTS. But there's definitely a way the games pan out if he wins.
Well, he's so mechanically on top of everything and very, very smart. But is he acting for the camera right now? This can't actually be what he looks like before he plays a game. My God. But you can see what a lowly Terran this is with 3 golds and a silver.
Yeah.
What trash this Terran player must be compared to the other Terrans in this group.
Dude, it's funny when you brought it up earlier. People tend to forget a little bit about INnoVation since Maru's been murdering everywhere and winning everything, especially here in Korea.
Well, I've been around since the days where INnoVation was the best Terran and Maru was only the second best Terran.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So going into this match, Patience has quietly been one of the craziest Protosses out there. And there's a lot that he is able to do and get away with that many of the Protosses can't. As we've said before here at the GSL Codes, he is a Protoss's Protoss.
Yes. And this is what I've been trying to say 100 times. So the reason why I think Maru is not guaranteed to get out of this group is because people will play against Maru and, like, you know, give him certain, how do I say this? Like, give certain respect and do certain things in certain ways because it's like it's Maru. You have to consider these things, right? I'll tell you, one person is not going to consider any of that. That's Patience. Patience is going to do what Patience is going to do, and it's either going to kill you or it's not going to kill you. And then the game is going to be over, and it's going to be decided. So he's actually quietly one of these dangerous guys where I could see him just, like, getting right out. He could win this group. I don't know. And he might look terrible and get last place, too. He might win no maps. He might win 4 maps and lose 0 losses. Anything can happen with him here.
Man, we're going to go to King's Cove to start things off. Patience is one of those players that you can know ahead of time he's going to play an abstract game, and it still won't help you. Just being aware of that. He's a player where you could try to scout out everything, and there's still a weird ace up his sleeve, if you will. So let's see how exactly INnoVation is going to handle this. INnoVation is known for being very textbooky, very straightforward, very... you know, if you want to copy this style of play, this is a great way to ladder, right? He doesn't rely on gimmicks. He doesn't rely on surprises very often. You know, all top players, for the most part, do something tricky here and there. INnoVation leans farthest from that. If he does anything abnormal, it really is a surprise here. Anyways, we're going to go into game number 2 on King's Cove, INnoVation versus Patience.
Reciprocity. INnoVation.
This might be the coolest graphics I've ever seen in a GSL.
Yeah, I like the aesthetic we've got here for this tournament, really.
Team LP. Patience.
Kind of keeping it minimalist here.
Looking good, though.
So we have Patience already parking a probe out on the map. It's a Patience aboard. Hello, thank you for coming down from DC.
All right. Patience, it is time. All right, so he put down a pylon very... Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. He's gonna power something on the other side of the rocks.
Yeah, gateway. Okay, so the 2-gate play is obviously pretty popular. Out of the 6 games that Classic played against Maru in the GSL Finals, which, by the way, today we did an in-depth on. Myself and No Regret, so check that out. But Classic 3 times went proxy gate against Maru.
Yeah.
Right? It's a good build. If they don't realize that it's coming, you can just win by rallying in stalkers and killing tons of SCVs. You get so far ahead.
Yeah, I think this is a smart way to open up here. Concept-wise, this is actually pretty similar to what Maru did versus Armani. You know, a type of rush that's known to work, at least in the current meta. And INnoVation going to come in here and scout, and I think pretty quickly he may get privy to what's going on here. It's not just what you see in your opponent's main base, but sometimes what you don't see there that mineral or gas-wise, that it would have had to have been spent somewhere here.
Yes.
So he should know what's coming now as he sees the lack of any other infrastructure inside of his base. We've got a bunker being made over here at the entrance. And the Stargate, and this is what's cute about this proxy. So it's almost like it's a proxy location in 2 spots because you might see the gateway. The gateway definitely going to give you a better location to come out there and attack early on. But there's also the fact that there's going to be a Stargate later on. And I don't know if INnoVation will have factored that in here.
Yeah, that's something that's a little bit more new to it, but as is, already it's doing all right. INnoVation with the correct counter, like as soon as you realize this is going on, you must have a bunker or you can actually just die. But yeah, he's got the bunker up. He went for 2 Marines before that reactor. So pretty big commitment to holding on right there. But yeah, that Stargate is kind of the tricky aspect of this, isn't it?
The thing about this is that, okay, so the initial rush hasn't done that much. And this, again, this is so the Protoss is Protoss here. So he does that initial rush, but there's a later on Stargate that's going to come in here and hit it at odd timing. And then we have another pylon being hit in the bottom left. So this is definitely an opener we're probably only going to see once this year here from Patience. He's saved this specific style of play. I'm curious to see, by the way, what else he has PvT, because as far as I can tell, if you're Protoss, you need to be able to beat Terrans to get out of this group, Artosis.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you on that one.
Okay, so the Adepts get in here.
Oh, this is fantastic.
This is where damage is going to begin to mount, because already Terran should not have let that come in.
Yeah, now, he actually wanted to eat that mine shot, just to make this clear, because then the Oracle can come in and you're not afraid of just dying. So he actually shades down here, and look at this. Look how much damage this Oracle can get done. He hasn't gotten a ton as of yet, but getting a few SCVs, getting rid of that Reaper isn't too bad. Oh my god. Wow. I love it.
Look at this. Now, is he going to get... Okay, it's going to be a Dark Shrine.
Oh, you just can't even get dirtier than this. Now, I need to see a Robo in the top right.
Oh my god, is the Viking going to go right past this?
Oh, this is fun.
Now,
is it going to go all the way? No, it's not.
No.
That'd be too crazy to go all the way.
Hold on. Let's look at the vision. Go down. Shine.
Oh, no, he doesn't see it. But he might see the probe leave.
Yeah, there we go. That's what I was looking for. The probe is turning around. Oh, that was awkward. Now it's going to go back under there and make it land again and then run away.
He wants it to chase it. That was what that probe turnaround was, and INnoVation does not check the bottom left.
Does that telegraph that there's something hidden there when you actually send the probe out to be chased? Is that too obvious?
I'm surprised that he didn't go to where the probe came from. Why the hell would you put your probe in the bottom left?
Exactly.
Oh, nice catch there. And now that the Stalker's out, you can't really land it so easily. Oh, wow. Thought he would have dived harder on that, but okay.
Looks like he might be backing up entirely here. The bunker's still filled up. Good tag there on the medevac and the rest of the army, so he's going to be able to see when and if that's going to move out.
Yeah. He might even, with his flying units, be able to check energy on the command center so he can send his DTs in at an appropriate time.
Oh, that's a good point.
See that? He can see the energy there?
God, I hadn't even thought of that. Good call, Artosis.
My God. Look at it. Just look at it.
This is so impressive.
My God.
I mean, it's frustrating because the Terran is in the dark for a lot of this game, but man, he has just set this up so perfectly.
Look, he's got 1 scan at the moment. I think you need to make more DTs after this.
Okay, he's got the DTs.
He's about to have a second
split.
scan. Okay, so he is going to be able to deal with both these. I think you have to scan this now. Oh, he recalled that one. Okay, that was interesting. It's fine to recall it, I guess, if you realize that there's enough scan energy that you're just going to lose both, unless you wanted to really commit by sending in more. Looks like that was not what he wanted to do. Raven on the way. Blink is still being made, and the 3rd Nexus, as well as some gateways. All right.
Okay. DT coming in here. Some of these SCVs, I think, were wounded. Okay, so the scan goes down, kills off that 1 DT.
Where's the Robo? Is it no, it's not. Sorry.
He wants to get another scan out here. And it looks like INnoVation goes ahead and bites. Now with the Raven coming here, he should have enough to possibly actually get a position outside of Patience's base and actually try to go for some kind of a fight. Oh man, definitely got to get away from that turret with that Oracle. In fact, I'm surprised he even went back there to attack that Marine. It's so low on HP. Another DT is coming here to chase, but there should be a Raven moving across the map now. Right?
Forced so many scans. He actually, it almost feels like he's trying to set up for a DT defense with how many DTs he sent into that army. Oh, look at this. If he gets the medevac, oh my god.
There's no way to pick up and move out of here now.
So many things going well.
Widowmine's coming out. I'm worried here for Patience because we're basically at the point in time where the harass for Protoss is done. Protoss is trying to now set up and get into more of an economy-based game here. But, you know, INnoVation has a real army that can absolutely take a fight. Stalkers are handy, but, you know, if they don't blink in the right spot, or, you know, or Terran gets the right stim in here, if you just have a lot of Stalkers and the Terran's army is sophisticated enough, usually the Terran can win the fight.
Do you see this? Do you see what's happening? INnoVation's going mech. Not just that, but I feel like what we're seeing from Patience is pretty all in, and then he added the Robo Bay. Because, like, he doesn't have forges, and right?
Yeah.
So when I see no forges for this long, I'm like, okay, well, I mean, a huge attack has to be coming in. But the fact that he just added the Robo Bay, that's like too slow for an incoming attack. So I'm a little bit confused what he's up to. But the fact that INnoVation's going mech now, so we've had Maru, Gumiho, and INnoVation. Oh my god, yes,
and
please.
this appears to be the new meta. Now, INnoVation's mech transition was actually later than a lot of the other mech transitions we've seen. He basically got like the core bare minimum of an infantry start army and then switch into mech. So one thing we got to watch for is A, is Patience aware? Is he cognizant of the tech switch? And then B, is this tech switch too late to do anything? Is Patience, if he identifies it, will he be able to reorganize himself in a way that can actually fight this?
So he doesn't know yet. He started Colossus tech, which would be a very normal play against Bio, but...
Right.
And the thing is, you can kind of make it do a little bit if it's like a battle mech variant, but overall, Colossus are not really that good. Disruptor's going to be definitely more useful against this. Now, yeah, he's started his Forges, he's started his Colossus. Looks like he's going to try to get some harassment done. We'll see how quickly you can figure out that it's actually mech. Like, okay, as the hallucination comes out, like if he's looking at all, once you see an additional, like he already saw 3 Cyclones earlier, but once he sees a 4th one with that army, and or non-combat shield Marines, and or this armory spinning, okay, he knows now, finally. Okay, so how does he switch this up? Is he going to cancel any Colossi, just keep them going?
I guess he's going to let those come out, but then he's going to have to get something that can address a mech army. Now, Terran is taking the 4th base. Protoss is taking his fourth, as well, in the bottom center. But you got to be careful. INnoVation definitely has the kind of army that can pick a fight here. Colossi, there's 2 out so far. Thermal Lance is still a ways away, but it's mostly Stalker Colossus. I wonder how much actual, meat is here for the Protoss in a fight. I mean, I feel like if Terran has a good spread and good angles, maybe you could do a ton of damage here to what Protoss has.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like this is the optimal army for fighting against mech, but he's actually doing some great harassment damage during all this, so that's kind of nice. But yeah, the fact that he scouted that it was mech, he's like, you know what? Let's go up to 4 or 5 Colossus immediately. That's odd to me. Like, maybe he feels like he can just hit a massive attack because he's making Zealots, he's continuing to make DTs here. Yeah, I'm not sure what the plan is.
Okay, the Stalkers, I don't know about this angle. This is really weird. Okay, the Stalkers are disjointed from the army. A lot of these should not get back home in one piece. But there's some DTs and Zealots coming in here. Now, maybe you can force INnoVation to try to cover too many locations at once. But, if he's not hitting so many different places, I guess the army with the Raven could just come in here, comb through this, and kill off everything, right? Then reorganize and try to attack? Does Patience actually have enough to do anything anywhere?
I don't feel like he should have enough, but let's see.
Wow.
Whoa.
You don't see that every day.
No.
Okay, so 4 disabled Colossi, now not moving, and we see the Stalkers try to fight that. as the disables wear off, you can see a few laser sprays out there, forces Terran back. Patience does have superior supply, whether that be just overall or an army here, so that's a little bit alarming for INnoVation.
My gosh, just the overall harassment damage that Patience has been getting done is pretty impressive stuff.
Yeah, this is such a weird game.
It is certainly a very weird game. I'm just so surprised at what Patience is roaming with, like this army. I feel like it just won't scale well at all against Mech. But he is adding Immortals, so
I think
that's
he's trying
useful.
to bash his way in here. He's trying to do just enough damage with EGs that he might be able to run over the 4th base. This seems to, it requires the Protoss to actually win in one of these positional fights to actually close this out.
Well,
and it looks like that moment might be happening here, Artosis.
Yeah, it seems that way. I mean, we get some lock-ons over there. It does destroy a Colossus, but the main bulk of army from INnoVation definitely not holding against this army. This doesn't feel like this is the way that this is supposed to go, but it's the way it's going, so I'm going to roll with it. Because that's like what a Patience game normally is.
I guarantee you this is not what INnoVation had practiced to fight against.
Oh, certainly. It could not have been. And the thing is, I feel like I'm seeing things from him that are really interesting for this mech style. Like,
that's it?
Yeah, GG. For instance, where he put his armories there, because many of the mech losses that we've seen, like your armories in the back of your base, and they get sniped by a War Prism because you can't get to them in time, stuff like that. So I feel like INnoVation wasn't necessarily doing poorly on a lot of these things, but you can see him kind of like smiling, almost laughing. Because it's like, well, I mean, it's Patience. He went for an army because you're Terran. It's a very good army against Terran, he thinks, and I guess he's right because it just killed mech, and it's really an anti-bio army more than an anti-mech army.
Huh. Well, Patience did it. He Protossed his way out of that. Now we got to see if he can do it again here. And let's not forget, let's say that Patience does win here. Certainly he's closer to doing that than INnoVation. Can he then take on Maru? How many Protoss tricks against Terran does Patience have? I would imagine a lot, but these are two of the toughest Terrans of all time to go up against. And I don't mean to get too ahead of myself here in this series, but it's something we're starting to see here. And you know, that was an off-brand Protoss that managed to take on Terran on every level. Let's not forget, though, INnoVation went for a very odd, well, I want to say odd, I don't mean bad, just kind of an unusual mech timing switch. That might have been what allowed Patience to really get in there and do what he needed to do. Let's go to game 2.
Reciprocity. INnoVation. Team LP. Patience.
A wild opening, let's not forget. Proxy gateway with Stargate.
That's right.
Hidden DT in the bottom left.
And like we were saying, you probably won't see that used again here in this series. So
I don't think so.
We'll have to see what he tries to do this time around. But I think the beginning of that series was almost as odd as the end of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Colossi bashing in there. I think also Patience did a great job keeping. I think what was it at the end? He had 2 or 3 Colossi still alive.
Oh yeah. I don't know what's going on, man.
The Stalkers are inconsequential in the long run compared to keeping the Colossi alive.
Yeah, they definitely did some damage. It felt like maybe he was too heavy on Cyclone or something. Like, siege tanks are probably going to be a better choice there.
Well, we don't see more and more Colossi made against mech normally either. So I think he had these Cyclones that were sort of against the wrong unit composition, and I think on some level INnoVation was a little bit caught off guard by that as well.
Colossi truly, at this point in the game, is mostly an anti-marine unit. That's like kind of why you make Colossi. You don't really... If you make them against Zerg, it's weird. If you make them against Protoss, it's really weird. If you make them against Terran, it's pretty common because Marines are very good. In a situation like this, where it's mech, it's like, well, you know, you're not really doing that much damage, and you don't actually have more range than a lot of the units that Terran is playing with right now.
Yeah.
So what is the Colossi? And the Colossi can be hit by all sorts of different attacks, anti-air, anti-ground,
I wonder if some of it was
anti-air and anti-ground.
if the tank count's low enough. I guess the Colossal can come in there and start to poke and try to pick fights.
I guess.
And then maybe there's not as much you can do at that moment as Terran. Fourth base on the previous map is a lot harder to hold as well.
Yeah, it's kind of out in the front a little
Yeah.
bit. It is easier to attack. The first three are like free though.
We've got another hidden pylon over on the map, Artosis.
Yeah, what do you think that's going to be?
Could be a Stargate, I think.
Stargate? Feels a little bit late for Stargate.
It does feel late, you're right, but maybe that's part of the idea.
Gates. Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, I'm sorry,
Oh,
guys.
yeah.
Why was I casting this like it's a normal Protoss player? Sorry,
Yeah.
everybody.
You fool. So he's getting up here. He's like, I want to know what you're doing, Patience. He's just like, it's out on the map,
All right,
you idiot.
I know you guys at home have got your Protoss cheese bingo cards out here, all right? So go ahead and X off the double gateway outside the natural. Yeah, 4 gateways, excuse me.
This is
Anybody got bingo yet? Oh, no, not yet, but soon perhaps.
So Patience, after that first game of 3 different types of proxies in one game that went into a macro game that he won, is now just going to 4-gate after expand. So this is quite bizarre. Twilight coming up. That'll be his transition, guys. Don't worry. He's ready for this not to work.
I actually love this.
I do too.
I want to see this just crash into the base and INnoVation not get to play a normal game.
Yeah. That's definitely
I think he's going to know
want.
when he sees the 3 more Stalkers like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, we're actually turning around our chairs. Let's look at INnoVation's face. He's like, but
No
I'm better at
emotion, as
macro.
always.
But I'm better at macro. But I'm better at macro. Okay. When
You're
the
better at
mines go-
macros. Where's all your SCVs?
How about you macro up some defense? Well, he's got the mines there. Now, is there a technique? Oh, hold on a second. I feel like the pickup might have been ill-timed there. Okay, just out of range there. Now, this is going to pull the infantry away, but it doesn't seem like there's quite enough to actually pick any kind of fight over here. 2 adepts are going to go down. A third one almost picked off. What?
Yeah, I'm not sure. He does have glaives on the way and more gates, so like I guess he's definitely not done. Oh, okay, the siege tank finishes, so he's like, okay, it's time to go mine drop. Very, very different play that we're seeing here from Patience, but he is going to have a hell of a lot of adepts with glaives. I like that he's sending the Stalkers home. He knows a drop is incoming, and Stalker's obviously going to be a better defense against that than anything else. Oh my god. What?
Yeah, I thought maybe he was going to do that. So this is a recall to try to catch that. Instead of chasing that, which he was not going to be able to catch in time. The medevac's going to try to come through here. Is this scout path or drop path a little bit too predictable, I wonder?
Does he turn around? Oh!
Did he see it? Oh, no. Okay, he needs to sack 1 probe into that. Looks like 2 go down instead. Then here comes the 1 drop here in the main. Again, you want to try to split your probes as well as you possibly can.
Okay, I mean, he dealt with those reasonably well.
Now, there's a lot of adepts coming here. Now, Protoss doesn't have any kind of sophisticated tech, but part of the idea here is that you want to have so much that you can just bludgeon your way through. Auto.
Next shade is going to come up. You got to raise those depots in the main.
Oh my God.
Or not. That works too.
Well, look, he's going to be able to get the tank. Well, if he gets this tank, which he does, then it's much harder for Terran to defend anywhere conveniently.
Oh, he's going mech again too.
Oh yeah, look at that. We
My
caught
God.
that. At the same time that Patience caught that, like, oh, look. Oh, I don't know. I think Patience, you know, oh my God, he unsieged at the exact wrong moment, Artosis!
Wow, he just lifted that command center in the main. He's getting afraid right now.
I think that's the last of the energy on the Raven, by the way. Oh, wow, look at this.
Stalkers just walk in too.
Okay, if he just gets that tank on the high ground, because this one on the low ground should be going down no matter what. The bunker is empty, by the way.
Well,
Yeah,
this
look at
is
this.
too much damage,
Don't
right?
siege up on top of your depots, by the way, folks.
Mike, like,
This is
he's
so
still
much
making
damage.
tanks. There's still a possibility of a hold here. Siege tanks are really good in these types of
He
situations.
needs to raise the wall. Oh, what? There's like more coming here?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, here we go.
We're not
Another
screwing
tank goes
around.
down. SCVs have been pulled. But there's so much over here with these Hellions and Marines.
Yeah, this time is not quite as efficient as the other ones.
And he managed to keep some of those in the main. I feel like there was a moment that Patience was on the verge of actually ending this game. And it's a little bit trickier to control this. I'm not saying that in any way INnoVation is necessarily going to come back. Oh my God.
I think he might though.
Well,
look at this. He's leaving bait for Patience. He's like, here's a tank. Oh wow, he didn't lift that one up. Why didn't he lift that up? You had it like.
Well, the tank is the only thing that's really able to combat everything else that's around here.
But
So
he dropped the tank and then picked it up when they shaded. Then he dropped it again and then just left it there. That was kind of. I'm a little bit confused about that one thing because it felt like this might be holdable. Like Patience doesn't have anything at home to go home to, you know?
Okay, so there's 23 workers that are only in the main right now. There's more Adepts than there are Marines out here. That's it, GG Patience. Well done.
2-0 over INnoVation.
Patience really on the cutting edge of Protoss play. He's so happy.
The cutting edge, you say, I call it the Stone Age, but either way, very effective.
He did it, man. He pulled through. We saw Patience celebrating, INnoVation looking at him and shaking his head.
Maru's like, oh man, what do I do here? By the way, just the fact that INnoVation was going mech in the second game as well is really fascinating that we're seeing such a shift to this right now.
It's very exciting that we're having all of the Terran players do it, and also in their own way. It's not complete and total copies of what the other ones are doing, but thematically, same ideas. We're going to go to our next match in just a little bit. Stick around.